Good Morning Night Vale is brought to you by The Disappearances of Lydia Fontaine, a new independently produced and crowdfunded 10-episode original audio drama. Set in a deceptively familiar world of electronic surveillance and machine-mediated communication, The Disappearances of Lydia Fontaine follows Lydia Ryan and her friends, lovelorn Ethan and wannabe internet sensation Dee, as they struggle to unravel the mystery of her mother's disappearance. Escape the sinister Fontaine family, and survive the feud over her grandfather's supernatural legacy. It weaves bitter family drama and high-stakes intrigue with fantasy and cyberpunk elements to create a surreal mystery about secrets and grudges, old books, big data, and the promise of infinite knowledge. And do not forget the talking birds. It's a full-cast production with original music and a bespoke soundscape presented through a series of found-footage-style surveillance recordings. And it's important to note, this show was made entirely without generative AI. Even the computers are voiced by human actors. Episodes are free, and you can start listening right now with the Season 1 finale due to come out on August 16th. For more information, go to lydiadisappears.com. and find The Disappearances of Lydia Fontaine wherever you get your podcasts and start listening from the beginning.
Insurance isn't one size fits all, and shopping for it shouldn't feel like squeezing into something that just doesn't fit. That's why drivers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they show you options that fit your budget. Enough hunting for discounts, trying to calculate rates, and tinkering with coverages. Maybe you're picking out your very first policy, or maybe you're just looking for something that works better for you and your family. Either way, they make it simple to see your options. No guesswork, no surprises. Ready to see how easy and fun shopping for car insurance can be? Visit Progressive.com and give the Name Your Price tool a try. Take the stress out of shopping and find coverage that fits your life, on your terms. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
The sun is bright, the moon is irrelevant, and we are light and light and light and light. We're light.
Think back, look forward, listen timelessly.
Good morning, Night Vale. Hello, everybody.
Hi, y'all.
I'm Hal Lublin. I play Steve Carlsberg, and I'm 80 miles outside of Santa Fe.
Jeffrey Cranor. I co-write Welcome to Night Vale, and I am 80 miles outside of Santa Fe.
And I'm Symphony Sanders. I play Tamika Flynn, and I am sitting out here parked by a lake.
I remember that old lake.
Do you remember it?
The one by Santa Fe.
Oh, yeah.
80 miles outside?
Yeah. 80 miles. Yeah, just outside of Santa Fe. And what are we doing here? We are here to talk about Welcome to Night Vale because we love it. We are involved with this show. It is our life. It is our love. And we're here to talk to you.
Should we tell the episode that we're doing and describe it? We're doing.
Yeah, you do that.
Oh, you said earlier we're doing episode 49, A and B, Old Oak Doors. The description of this episode is Night Vale begins its revolt against Strex Corp, and Old Oak Doors are opening all over town. Good things are coming through. Terrible things are coming through. Also, there's a mayoral election.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
I have a question before we jump in.
Yeah.
Which one of you writes the episode descriptions, or was writing them at this time? Did you switch off? Or?
I used to write most of them at the start. I used to kind of like the first few years of Night Vale, they were like, I would kind of say like, here's the main story, and then plus other like smaller news items.
Sure.
Nowadays we kind of do just like the one sentence description, but yeah, usually those are mine.
That feels like the early days of a podcast. Like you're like, I'm going to write a great description that people will definitely read.
Yep.
They will go through all of it. And then you get to the point of like, oh, they're listening. I'm just going to, this episode stuff happens.
Yeah.
Find out what, press play.
Yeah. The new episode that went up yesterday was basically just IDK. That's all I wrote.
You know what? You should just keep writing it, but like in different languages. It's like, je ne sais pas.
Yeah.
So this episode, we start out with Lauren Mallard and Kevin Strex, Sinnernists Inc., basically taking over, coming in, talking smack. They're throwing a lot of shade. Well, Kevin in particular is throwing shade at Lauren a lot. And they're just basically recapping, talking about all the things the problems with Night Vale, like how they can't eat wheat or delicious wheat byproducts.
Delicious wheat, delicious byproducts. That might be my favorite duo to write for, because we don't write a lot of dialogue for Night Vale. It's usually just one person speaking at a time.
Right.
But Kevin R. Free and Lauren Sharp, the two actors that play Kevin and Lauren on the show, are a delight to write for, because they're both really chipper people. So it's fun writing really awful things for them to say the most evil shit. It's really great.
And they do say quite a lot of evil shit.
They do.
I mean, in the most positive way. Talking about pteranodons. They're not actually dinosaurs. They're arachnids, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
That actually
is that true? Is that actually true? I don't know anything about
arachnids. No, one of the early episodes of Night Vale, there's in the first 3 episodes, there's a moment where a pteranodon comes through a tear in space time and terrorizes the PTA meeting in episode 3 or whatever it was.
Yeah, we remember that one.
And you guys know that. You guys should listen to all the episodes. I remember early on when we started having, started noticing a fan base, and I was on Twitter, and somebody messaged me on Twitter being like, we kept calling the pteranodon a dinosaur, and they were listening to the episode, and they messaged me on Twitter being like, pteranodon is not a dinosaur. And I was like, did you listen to the whole episode? Because the end of the episode is all just a big thing of pteranodons are not dinosaurs. And I just watched this person just complain at me 2 or 3 tweets in a row, and then finally was like, oh, I just got to the end. I'm really sorry.
So before you add anyone, listen to the whole fucking episode.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They actually themselves.
They did well
right
actually
into a corner.
themselves.
Right into a damn corner. These 2 episodes, which we did live at Town Hall in 2014, was it June of 2014?
Yeah.
This is sort of, at this point, sort of the Infinity War of Night Vale.
Yeah.
Because you've gathered pretty much everybody who's ever done a voice on, that is everybody who's ever done a voice on the show up to that point, except maybe Annie and Jackson. Those are the only 2 that were not there.
Yeah.
That had performed at some point, but they weren't. All the recurring people were there. And it feels like it's such a revolving door. And I remember being there. We were constantly in a state of, all right, who's going on, who's coming off. And there's a lot of that, even starting with Hiram coming out. And then here come Kevin and Laura. And then Tamika's there. And how much of a challenge is that? Because it feels like everybody gets a hero moment or a villain moment.
Yeah.
And the ballet of that all. Was that sort of a big consideration of how do we even logistically figure this out?
Yeah, that was really hard, because that was kind of early on when we were doing, we'd just been doing we were only half a year into touring regularly. And then here we are touring this live show and just learning how to tour and how to do any of this. And then we got this, we got the space at Town Hall, and we're like, holy crap, we have to do a show at Town Hall, and hey, you know what? Let's write a full hour-long episode with 15 people in it or whatever it was. And
big NBD.
Because at the time we were just we could have all these people, and it would be a delight to have all these people, because let's have all of our friends come over for a party, which is great for a party when all you have to do is pick up booze and food. But for this, you actually have to write a 6,000 word episode, and you're like, oh no. Yeah. And everybody has to have a reason to be out there. And so, yeah, it really was this. It was a very stressful episode to write, because you have to get everyone in. Everyone has to have a purpose to the story in some form or fashion. Yeah,
I don't think the scope of it hit me until we had a rehearsal a couple days before at Joseph's apartment, and we were all cramped in and trying. We did the normal thing of let's all sit in a circle. There's no way this circle of people would fit in this room.
In a living room. Yeah.
And that was the first time I saw the script. I think we got the script then.
Those bagels were delicious.
It was amazing. The bagels were great. Look, I know you all come here for the food content. That's really what we're about. A+ bagels, that's what you get in New York. Must be the water, right?
It's totally the water.
Makes all the bagels really good. But yeah, and then we did it twice in a night, which was nice. That's a luxury that we don't get on the road, with the same audience. You always get to do a show again when you're traveling, but it's always new people, and you don't get to do it right away. So you have time to sort of ruminate, as opposed to I just did it, I'm going to make adjustments and then go do it again immediately. That was a real kind of luxury for that show in particular.
Yeah, it really was. And the 2-show night is such a big undertaking too. But also, this was an episode that we wrote, and we did show everybody the script the day before at rehearsal. Here's your script. And so it is stressful. You have a lot to work through. There's not really a full on. We don't give a lot of notes either. So it's just, I don't know, do the thing, and then You'll figure it out. You're awesome.
Yeah.
That's our note session. It's like okay, what'd you think? Did you like that? Should I change anything? No, that was good.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So you learn to make your own decisions. But this was also one of the first times that I think many of us had met each other. Some people knew. I mean, you guys knew everybody, but like I hadn't met Jessica before, or I had met Hal once because this was very soon after I joined the cast because I'd gone on like one tour with you guys for the Librarian. Yeah, that was my first shows with you guys. But this was my first like podcast episode.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was the first time you appeared.
Nobody had heard me before, baby.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but now they love me.
Yeah,
and I'm here for it. And I remember it was like down, like the green room was like down, like under the stage.
Yeah,
it was like in the basement, kind of in the basement. And there were really good snacks.
Yeah,
I remember that. And there was a massage therapist.
Yeah.
There, which never happens.
Yep.
That was really cool.
There was a massage therapist there?
There was.
I didn't know that. I would have gotten a massage.
They had like one of those little kneeling chairs where you put your legs through and like.
And then somebody would just come massage you.
Yeah,
They
you
would
put your face through the hole.
Yeah, like an elemental would appear out of the brick wall
It's like,
start massaging you. I'm here for you. Yeah, absolutely. We had just done Thrilling Adventure Hour there a few months before.
Yes.
So it was neat to come back. Like I felt like, I got a clean sweep. I did both shows in the same theater. But it was meeting a lot of people. I hadn't met Maureen prior to that. I don't know if I'd met Kevin yet.
No, you wouldn't. I don't think you would have met Kevin yet because he hadn't really been out on tour with us.
But that was really cool. It was a good moment to see how big the family was, and John has basically a full band with him.
Yeah. That was the other cool thing. We hadn't had like a full band come with, because it's usually just John, or Disparition, as you probably know him. He's just usually like on his keyboard or a mandolin, jamming the hot tunes. But this time he had a guitarist. There was two singers, including Deepti and Valerie, and Kyra was playing on the
French horn. Yeah, I believe Kyra might have been.
I couldn't think of the word.
Yeah,
French horn. Yes. So it was very cool to have like such a large group of people all collaborating together, and because they must have had rehearsals before, because you can't just like be like, oh yeah, let's jam 5, 6, 7, 8.
I'm always surprised at musicians, though. Sometimes I'm just amazed at their ability to, like John on tour. We were at some venue in the UK somewhere, and they had this really old piano downstairs in this like old stone basement, and he just got on the piano and he just started playing this beautiful, just full sound of a song on it. And I was like, "What are you playing?" He's like, "I'm just riffing." I was like, "Oh my god!" it was so stunningly beautiful, and I'm always in awe of that. So sometimes I look at, I'm probably. It's probably a bad assumption, but I was like, oh, you guys can just do that. You can just make a music without practicing.
They're just like improvising the whole time. Yeah, no, John is, if there's a piano anywhere in the vicinity of backstage, he will be on it like the whole time, like just on it, and then like eating bread and then playing. That's mainly what John eats is bread and butter.
Pianist fuel is bread.
But he was killing it during this show, obviously coordinating all the music and whatnot. And as we go through, when Cecil finally comes on after Lauren and Kevin have rudely interrupted Meg, emceeing, getting ready to introduce, it's also fun hearing audience. This is like the first time we get to hear live audience in the episodes. And that was really fun to hear. And when Cecil comes on and, talk, and he usually doesn't do a call for Night Vale to do anything, right? He's usually like, oh, it's fine. Just like keep going. Like, don't worry about it. And, but in the beginning of this episode, he calls for Night Vale to free itself, for the revolution to start. And, of course, Faceless Woman, Hiram come in. I'm always amazed when he does all of those. Jackson does all of the voices of the different heads. Like, I don't know how you keep those straight in your mind. And I'm thinking about the script as well. It's like purple head, gold head. And so you have to go click into another character very quickly so it's seamless.
He's really amazing, too. Like, Jackson Public is so good at those voices, and it was really fun. It was always fun writing Hiram for him. And it's funny, like, how it's amazing, like, talented people, how nervous they get. Like, he was so nervous before that of like, I don't know I don't think I can keep these all straight. And we're like, you've done it several times. It's going to be great. But yeah, we did it with the 2-show night. I remember that first night, him going on stage, just like, I don't know why I agreed to do this.
Yeah. Sweating and shaking.
Sweating and shaking. Yep. And then he did it. And then going into the second show, he was like, that was a blast. I can't wait. And,
he needed to get it out once.
Yeah.
But I mean, the guy, I don't even know. I'm sure there are voices that he has that he doesn't know about yet. Mm-hmm. But his range is so dynamic, and the characters are so crisp that helps. But I know he had to take note. Like, he did the same thing that I had to do, which maybe we'll talk about a little bit later, which is take notes on which one was which.
Yeah.
Like, you have to remember. Like, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. I just listened to it, and I just read it again, and I still can't remember.
Yeah, because all 5 of Hiram's heads have a completely different personality, and he has like the default Southern charming gentleman.
That's the gold one.
Yeah, the gold one.
He's like the bossy. He's like the Southern sort of. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's real charming.
That was not an impersonation of. That was.
Yeah.
That was not good.
And then you have
the red one is like the angry one.
The angry one is the green one. That's the one that's just shouting and spitting fire on everything all the time.
Violet is the high pitched one.
Violet is the worrier.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, that was a better impersonation.
And blue is the actually head. Like, that's the one that's correcting everything gray is the actually head.
See, it's hard to keep track
of
it. You're doing way better.
He's the Eeyore one. He's the like...
Blue is I thought blue was the mopey one. Good God, I just listened to the episode and I just...
Do you see why he was nervous?
Yeah. Anyway, Jackson, it's going to be fine. Head out there. It's great. I don't remember either.
Yeah, you go out because it's time, not because you're ready. Yeah, you do. There are so many storylines that are kind of coming to a head here. Strex Corp, also the mayoral election, which is also tied to the disappearance of and reappearance of Dana. Now Carlos is gone. This does a really good job. This episode, I think, does a good job, even with how it almost has a variety show feel to it. It's like coming out next, this character, and now this character's here. And yet still, you get a resolution to one story that also is a springboard for the next set of episodes because there's a lot. I think the right things are left unresolved. Mm-hmm. How hard is that to figure out? All right, this is what we need to tie up, and this is what we want to use. Like, how far ahead are you looking at this point now that you've like completed a major arc?
I mean, a lot of this, it was just really finalizing a lot of that season. Like, this season started, not really, I keep saying season, but it's like this long-form story arc started with Yellow Helicopters, I think, which was like episode 32 or something. But that was really a case where I just wrote that episode and sent it to Joseph, and it completely changes the dynamic of the town when you have this like evil corporation. It's like, we now own everything, we're taking over. And Joseph was like, well, this is a story we'll have to deal with. And so we did, and it took us 17, 18 episodes to resolve it. This was, Old Oak Doors is crazy because we really wanted to resolve all of those issues in this thing. We wanted to get all of those things situated and get Dana out of the other world and do the mayoral election and do this and that. So it was really satisfying. And the thing that we were left with is having Carlos stuck. Right. And so that began a thing of like this whole Yellow Helicopter Strex Corp storyline was so intense. It's so Avengers Endgame. Like, it's so like the world is collapsing on us. Whereas it was sort of interesting to me to create a much smaller story the next year, which is to have, I don't know, the difficulty of a young relationship and especially one that's a long distance relationship. Right. I mean, in a Night Vale way, because Carlos is stuck in a desert otherworld. But it became interesting to be like, go from like kind of apocalyptic corporate overlord takeover of your town to let's set it up for the next season where it's much smaller. Let's have a real relationship drama and the really much smaller struggles of human life.
Well, and also Carlos just figured out that he didn't know that he could use his phone at all. And it makes it lovely that you brought that up because then he is stuck there. And then he's like, oh, well, I can actually still communicate with you. So that's great. And I think that was a lovely thing that helped us get to
device.
Thank
device.
you.
Plot
that's
device?
the word.
Plot device?
Thing.
Writer thing.
A thang.
That's a technical term. But let's talk about something very important. Me.
Yes.
Yes, of course.
So, Lauren and Kevin were talking all that smack, and they're like, oh, Tamika's in jail. Baby. All the chains have been ripped off. She's gone. When the not angels and the people go to try and save her, she saved herself, guys.
That's right. Agency.
Yeah, but they did tear down the fence from the company picnic, which they had been there for weeks. That's a mess.
It's a very intense company to work for.
They're like, have fun, but be productive. We find that she's gone, so we're trying to figure out where she is. And Lauren and Kevin come back. I like the mission statement, where it's just like that ominous sound. It's like, and you listen to it for like 20 seconds.
It's really long.
It's very long, which I'm trying to remember even like what they looked like. Because, you know, when you see the live show, there's certain things that we'll do that makes it a little different because you're in front of a live audience, so they can see your face. And, you know, you can do funny like little bits together rather than something that you're doing like you're just recording at your home. So it's kind of fun to be able to have like a thing that you can do in front of people. And so when I wonder, do you remember what they were doing? Like, were they just standing there like listening to the ominous sound?
I don't remember.
I was down in the basement.
That feels like the choice when you do something like that. That would be my instinct.
Yeah.
Is to like just sort of hold wherever I am, to hold that throughout the entire thing, like not move at all, not change expression at all, because you want that sound to, you want it to feel like 20 seconds or longer of that noise.
Yeah.
Which is actually very similar to the mission statement of every company. It's just a bunch of noise that was come up with by a committee of people who cannot describe it to anybody.
Yeah, that's basically it. That's basically it.
So they're starting to talk about like what they could do to improve the town, and you know they'll fix the harbor, all that stuff, the fun complex and all that thing, and fill in the hole out back of the Ralphs. But where will they huddle?
That's right.
I always thought that was so funny. Like why are you huddling in a hole? But like you're together, so that's good.
Yeah.
But then they start talking about they're gonna tear down the library and like get rid of the librarians. And then here I come because don't mess with the library.
That's right. Because as much as Tamika's relationship to the library is always fascinating to me, because like she's always in battle with it, but she loves it so very much. Yeah. Like it's almost like hunters that kill deer because they love deer.
They love deer. Yes.
There's something very strange about the idea of like I have to keep the librarian population in check. And so they are very dangerous, but very beautiful creatures.
What was that like for you, Symphony? What were those town hall shows like?
You know, I had only done a few shows at that point. So I remember being like nervous. I was nervous about when exactly I was supposed to come out. Like, because usually Cecil will be like, and now in the studio we have Tamika Flynn. And then you come on and people are like, yay. And then you start reading. But this one, I had to like interrupt Lauren. And I was like, now, go. And I just like remember running out on stage and be like, don't you dare. So it was just, I remember just being nervous. And everybody was so talented. And I felt like the kid sister who was just like, hey guys, you know, I felt like they all knew each other. So it made me a little nervous. But I remember it being really exciting seeing, you know, I just like performing in front of people. And it's pretty fun to bring a character to life in front of people that they've never seen before. You know, that was a brand new experience for all those people. And it was just, the energy was just like, whoo, you know, and I felt like my body was like, you cannot see me, but I'm wiggling. That's how I get excited. But yeah, and I feel like I'd met you once.
Right.
Before that. And like, it was all these cool, very funny improv people. Like, and I always feel very intimidated. I think we've talked about this a couple times on the show before, but like, I am not an improver. I think I'm funny anecdotally. I'm not funny like, bam, I got a joke, you know? And it was just fun to talk to you guys and like be able to like riff with you a little bit. And I felt again like I was, and everybody's so tall and I'm like the shortest person. So I felt like I was just like jumping like around people's shoulders and be like, hey, yeah, that's funny, guys. And then shoving food in my face because that's what I do when I get nervous. I just hovered over the craft services table. It was just like carrots, bread.
Massage.
I didn't puke though. That was good.
Massage.
I didn't get a massage. I didn't get a massage because I was nervous that I would fall asleep.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't want to be too relaxed.
That's like the nightmare of missing all your tests at school. As you fall, you're backstage, you're there, you're dressed, you're ready.
Yeah.
You don't even have to memorize anything. The script is in hand.
Yeah.
And you fall the hell asleep. That would be the worst.
That's like the actor's nightmare, you know, when you're like, oh wait, I'm supposed to be somewhere, and they're like, and now so and so, and you're like still like 12 feet. You're like, no. I made it.
Have y'all already told the story about Mara running late at the show and Cecil promising that if anybody ever missed their cue, he would leave them in the dust?
Yeah,
he was like, if anybody ever misses their cue, I'm moving on. You're not getting
you
your
get
part.
like 20 seconds of me vamping, and then
he didn't even promise that.
Oh,
he
really?
always is like, I'm leaving you. If you're not there, I'm moving on to the next page. We're going to the next scene. You're not leaving. And we've never really missed it. But then one time we were in that weird ass Chicago theater.
No, that was in Detroit.
Oh, it was in
at
Detroit.
The Film Worm.
That's right. It was in Detroit.
Mara had hit her head she was in the bathroom. Before you go on stage, you're like, do I have to pee? Like right now, do I have to pee? What's happening? And so she was just like, okay, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom really quick. And went to the bathroom and she hit her head on the like towel thing, like pulling the towel. And she was like, and then she heard, and now the face of the whole woman. So she comes tearing down the stairs. And Mara's also small and in heels, in a dress. And she's like, that's me. And she ends up like skidding on stage. She made it. She was fine.
She was fine. But yeah, Cecil did vamp for like half a minute or more.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you're so, I love Cecil. He's like, no, I will leave you in the dust. And then when you're struggling with something, he's like, I'll help you out. I'll save you some time.
He just threatens. He threatens people, but he doesn't mean it. He's a gentle baby.
He is.
So now we've, in the first part of this, we have, of course, all these characters come on. Dana, Carlos comes in, and it's lovely to hear from them, obviously. And then we go back to the election stuff. I always like that was like the secondary. They're like, oh, right, and the election, which should be a huge local event, right?
Right.
But oh no,
we have these other things. Yeah, we set up the election kind of early on in the show, and then we were like, this is something we'll have to resolve. We did a live show called The Debate, and have you guys already done that? You guys did The Debate already.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Or did we do
No, I think you did condos.
We did condos.
I don't think we've done The Debate yet.
Not yet.
The Debate was amazing because that's where we met so many of the Thrilling Adventure Hour people.
Yeah.
Because that was a case where the Debate was a whole, not to sidetrack too much, but we did this live show called The Debate in Brooklyn in 2013. And we really did it because Thrilling Adventure Hour, we'd met those folks and we'd met Hal and the Bens. And the Bens were like, hey, we're going to be at New York Comic Con. Come see our show. And also, if you want any of our folks on your show, just let throw them a couple bucks and let them know. We're like, great. And so we sent out the call, and like 5 people from Thrilling Adventure Hour, like you and Mark Gagliardi and Jackson Public and Mark Evan Jackson and Annie Savage all showed up, and we're like, well, I guess we should write a show. And like within like 2 weeks, we had written the Debate and threw that together. But yeah, we had to resolve that. But all this Strex Corp stuff happened, and it seemed like fitting. It seemed like a good like American storyline for that. We forget about local politics.
Was that the one that you guys did at the Bell House?
No, we did it at Roulette, which is in downtown Brooklyn.
I'm just trying to remember what the show was. Maybe it was just a Thrilling Adventure Night Vale crossover or something at the Bell House. That's when I actually met you guys.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, we didn't do the crossover at the Bell House.
We did it in Seattle and San Diego.
Yeah.
Then what was that? Who knows?
Who can tell? Who remembers? This live crowd is loving it. My memories of shows.
And then we have John Peters comes on with intern Maureen, and she gives it to Cecil about all the interns dying. She's like, look, I came here for college credit and all this stuff. And this is the first time we've really like confronted Cecil about like his abuse, really, of the interns. Yeah. And then he was like, oh, right, and intern Jeremy, like he's gone too. And you're like, he just like is so oblivious to that whole thing. And I think that's been one of the through lines that I absolutely love, because it's just like flippantly the murder or disappearance or whatever of all these people, and you're just like, yeah, well, okay, it's
family.
fine.
Yeah.
To their families, bye.
And that the promise of college credit is enough to make her relent and go, okay, fine.
Fine.
Like, she's aware. You also get the sense that maybe all of these interns know that they're going to die.
Yes.
But the idea that they might get college credit and live is enough for them to continue in the job.
Right.
That they're willing to do it. Like, there's no way that she's the only one who's aware of how poorly they're treated. She's the only one who said anything.
Right. That's how revolutions start.
Exactly. Those interns are talking. At your office, they're all talking to one another.
I think this show was the first time we met Maureen Johnson in person too. It was like when she came to the rehearsal, and I was so excited because I love Maureen Johnson on Twitter. Is really an amazing follow. And but we got to know her because we in an earlier episode we had named an intern Maureen because we just enjoyed Maureen and we had interacted with her on Twitter before, and so she got excited that there was an intern Maureen, and then we killed her in an episode. And then she basically threw a very funny fit on Twitter about it, and it was like, somebody tell them to bring her back or whatever. And so we just messaged her and was like, we'll bring Maureen back if you play her on stage live when we do the show.
She said she was so nervous.
She was really, really nervous.
She looked really great. She had this. Her dress was like this blue and black iridescent. This is so weird that I even remember this. But I'm like, ooh, fabulous outfit. It was like this blue and black iridescent dress, but it had this huge collar that was like up around her ears and her head. And I was like, whoa, she looked like a queen. It was beautiful. I just remember that. And then she was like, I'm so nervous. I was like, you did great.
Yeah.
But I think she had the same nerves that I did because she wasn't sure when she should actually go on, and she didn't want to like miss her thing. But she was fine.
When you do a live show, and especially for every different theater, there's a different distance from the wings to your spot on stage. Mm-hmm. So you always have to calculate, all right, at what point in the sentence where I enter am I supposed to come in so that I don't step on the line, but also it by time it's the end of it, we're not waiting 5 seconds for whoever it is to get there. And Town Hall is a wide stage, if I remember. It's a little bit of a hike.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's always a legitimate fear, but in that space in particular, it could happen very easily that the timing could be off.
Yeah.
Did you know I count my steps, like during sound check, I count the steps from backstage to the microphone?
No.
That's how I know. I know. It's
so exact.
I'm very nuts about stuff sometimes.
Super
I'm like,
scientific.
Must be perfect. So I'll count my steps and I'll be like, 13. And the sound people are usually like, what the hell is she doing? And I'm like, 13. Yes. Okay. 13.
That's amazing.
And then I like walk away and they're like, okay, you weirdo. But it helps me. It quells my mind and plus I'm usually in heels. So I know how I need to toddle out there on my heels.
You got a Bachelor of Science in acting. That's what you did.
I do have a Bachelor of Science. I'm a scientist.
That's awesome.
That's right.
That's what I tell people. I used to tell my ex-boyfriend that I'm like, I'm a scientist. He's like, Scientologist. I'm like,
oh,
no.
Good retort.
I was like, burn. Sick burn. So then Steve comes out.
Hi, Steve.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve.
I think maybe this was after. Was it after the Town Hall show for Thrilling that we went to that restaurant around the corner? And
yes.
We hung out and we all got there early. And I was talking to Joseph and he told me about the anniversary show. I think at that point I knew I was coming, but I had no idea what I was doing. And he was like, I realized watching the show that you can do a lot of voices. Like that had not registered with him before. And he said, I don't think he said challenge actors. Somewhere between challenge and screw over. I can't think of the word, but I like to challenge actors. So I'm going to have you do the voice of every other actor who's ever been on the show. And I immediately got panic and a pit in my stomach because I couldn't think of how many. I made a reference file with samples of everybody's voice, and I studied it leading up to the flight.
Really?
On the flight, yeah. I had to take notes for which of Hiram's heads was which. Mm-hmm. And it's very hard to listen to. And also doing Dylan's voice, because he's got such a distinct voice, without it sounding insulting.
Right.
Because I think when somebody has a higher pitched voice, which he does, it's not really that high pitched, but it's so distinct without it being offensive. That felt like a challenge.
Yeah.
And I still think I missed one of the heads. I never got right. And I came off after the first one, and I talked to Jackson about it. I was like, so how did I do? He's like, yeah, that one, you're not quite there. And then I went and did it again, and it felt like when I took my driving test. In Pennsylvania, at least, you had to parallel park. I assume you have to do that everywhere. And if you touch the curb, you automatically fail. But you also have to be within 12 inches. So when I took the test, I was thinking about that. I was like, any one of these things, I don't get my driver's license. So I parked maybe 2 feet away from the curb. And the instructor said, you get one forward and one reverse to get closer. And I went like forward and reverse, did not turn, did not get close to the curb, thought I was being tricked. I did get the license, but that second show felt like the same thing. All I did was go forward and reverse. I couldn't quite get there. But also, character-wise, this and September Monologues were a huge turn in who Steve Carlsberg was to the audience and Cecil.
Yeah. Because having you, Hal, do the voice of Steve, because the Steve was very early on in the show as this other person that we never hear his voice, and we just know Cecil hates him. And so the fandom was very much like, oh, fucking Steve, hate that guy. And it's really interesting to put, because the voice you give him is really charming. And so you start, you know what I mean? Like it's goofy. Like it's not necessarily like, oh, I want to be Steve's friend. I could see where like maybe a person like Steve might be annoying, but there's nothing awful about him. He seems like a deep down a good person, even if you're not going to be besties with him. But that was a really interesting turn. So now we start getting you on stage with Cecil, and people are like turning against Cecil a little bit because they're like, oh, Steve's really sweet.
Right, he seems like a nice guy. Like, why are you so mean to him?
Yeah,
for absolutely no reason. But and this is also where we realize don't mess with Janice, because Steve will come for you. You turned like when Kevin was like, oh, we'll fix her, and your voice. I just remember being like, whoa. That's so intense, because you see Steve as this like kind of guy, and then he's like, "Don't fuck with my kid," And I just I have a soft spot in my heart for Steve.
Oh, Steve.
Oh, Steve. And his nasty scones.
Well, every time we do a live show, I always just the way the script is written, it always starts really benign and then gets super dark. So that's an opportunity to take him out of his normal, up here voice and then go down here really deep.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for that, which was such a hero moment, I was like, wow, this is he's really doing the right thing. That was I don't think I've ever done that particularly in any show since. That was a really fun kind of challenge moment to play. And Kevin was so, everybody was so great. You have the best scene partners.
Yeah.
But also that moment kind of drives home the idea that for Strex, Night Vale is completely broken. Everything that makes Night Vale is wrong and needs to be fixed. And it's funny when it's the whole behind the Ralphs or destroy the library, but when it becomes you take something that's a comedic concept at large and then go granular with it, all of a sudden it becomes, well, because this little girl is in a wheelchair, which she's been in since birth, she's broken and therefore needs to be fixed, that she's less than. Yeah. So the brilliance in the writing there, taking that concept, making it hit home, and also doing something you do so well, which is trying to think, just sort of a natural representation that everybody deserves to be heard, and we are all the same and of equal value to one another. So, and it's something you do without pandering, which I think is very impressive.
Thanks.
That's something that people are like, well, we have to get some representation in there.
Right, yeah.
But for you and Joseph, that's how you think. And so that's what the world is. And that's something that I've heard from fans that I've spoken to, that particular moment means so much for that exact reason, that nobody's looked at as different or less than, which is really great.
Yeah, you can't diversity hire. You have to do that on its base level, but then you have to do it not just to meet that one item on the rubric, right? You have to the whole idea of having different people in your life or different people in your story is that they add something to it. And so it's not just checking a box. The fixing Janice thing, like the terminology of fixing versus helping, that's very much it's not satire because that's not a funny scene, but it's definitely playing off the idea of how I think more individualistic people talk about something like welfare. As in, why, they want to fix poverty rather than help people. You know what I mean? And fixing and helping are very, very different things.
Yeah.
And in fact, while the actions may be similar, they may be, by action, fixing and helping might be synonymous. In attitude, they're antonyms, right? They're very, very different reasons for wanting to do anything.
Yeah.
Well, we've learned that there's no need to fix a person.
No.
You're perfect just the way you are, baby. So then we keep going forward. Dana is back. People are starting to come through the doors, all that stuff. And then Dana and Tamika kind of have a little crossed wires on what the town needs to be saved. Dana is saying, stay inside, let these other people, the angel, not angels, and whatnot, take, and the giants, save us. And Tamika's like, no, get out in the streets, do your duty as a citizen, and protect your town for yourself. Because being a hero is not a thing. Just be a person, be a human, be a citizen. Go out there and fight for what you love, fight for what you believe in. And so do we have a resolved? I don't know if that was actually resolved, but I think I won. Personally.
Well, the town kind of does come together. You do have that end game moment where all these characters that you maybe haven't heard from very often, that they all show up and are part of the fight, whether it's the Smooth River Rock.
Yes.
All the characters. That's ultimately what wins the war, which is hard to do in a pod. Have a war there are good moments of Tamika using books and a slingshot to actually fight. There's Steve throwing Kevin through a door, but a lot of it has to be narrated by Cecil.
Right.
So it's an interesting challenge to have this is visually spectacular. that becomes sort of the last third of the episode.
Yeah.
And then we also have that a bit of audience participation where we get everybody, Cecil gets everyone to shout, take down Strux, take down Strux. That was the funnest. And I always love when there's any sort of audience participation. Was that the first time that we had done that? You had done that in a live show? No, because
the very first live show, Condos, Joseph wrote a traffic report that we didn't have the audience
doing anything,
but it was very much.
It was picture a thing, right?
Yeah, it was the thing about picture a car on a road, and then now imagine that car in a lake. Just place that car in a lake. Just imagine that car in a lake. All right, we're getting word that we have successfully used telekinetics to kill a driver somewhere in the world. Good job, you all. And that was the one where the audience got real excited because it was we did it. We finally killed a man we don't know. Together.
But in the end, we end up with Carlos still in the, once everybody comes together and fights Strux, drives them out of town, Carlos ends up still being stuck because the doors closed behind everyone else. And he's still on the other side, which sets us up for this next arc in the storyline. And the Ericas bought Strux, which that's very cool.
Yes, because nobody was there.
No one was there to say otherwise. Which
just said,
I
we
love.
buy you. That's it. That's all it takes in corporate America.
It's very easy.
If the other
no paperwork.
They don't show up to the boardroom. Those are the laws.
You just plant your flag and you're like, I claim this for Night Vale.
Yeah.
And then the election. But I think it's time for us to talk about the weather.
Let's talk about it.
The weather for this episode was Call of Your Ghost by Dessa featuring Abby Wolf and DJ Paper Tiger.
I think it's Call Off Your Ghost.
How about you start that over?
Oh, it says Call of.
It's
Call
wrong.
of Your Ghost.
It's Call Off Your Ghost.
You're thinking of is that Jack London?
Yes.
Call of Your Ghost.
I remember Dessa's book, Call of the Ghost. It's Call Off Your Ghost by Dessa featuring Abby Wolf and DJ Paper Tiger. Dessa, everybody who does the weather is great.
Yeah.
But Dessa's got to be like a top 3 in terms of
Honestly.
we'll go into the crowd,
stand on chairs right above people. It's amazing. Get people to turn their phones, like their lights on. It's she is a if you ever get a chance, please go see Dessa. She is one of the best performers and just like so intense and like so you feel no matter if it's like 50 people or 1,000 people, you feel so close to her. Yeah. Like it's very intimate.
I've seen very few people with the stage presence she has. Like she just is so dynamic. I remember watching her at one of the tours that she was on, and I was standing backstage with Cecil, who I think has tremendous stage presence. Like he's so grounded, and he was just watching her, and he was like, he just kept pointing at what she was doing. He was like, look at what she does with her feet. It's amazing. They don't move, and when they do, like it's so decisive. Yeah. And like just watching Cecil admired Dessa's just like footwork as a performer is so phenomenal.
Yeah, there's no wasted there's no wasted anything. Everything has purpose, and the audience is completely drawn in. And some of that is just stagecraft and skill, but some of that is innate. She's just got a charisma, like a magnetic charisma to her that oozes the second she walks out. You're like, oh, let me see who this is.
Can I tell you quickly the first time Joseph and I met Roman Mars of 99% Invisible, and we walked up and introduced ourselves, and we're Joseph and Jeffrey from Welcome to Night Vale. He's like, oh my God, hi, it's so good to meet you. You guys toured with Dessa. And he got real like fanboy about Dessa. I was like, yeah, we do a show too, and hi.
Is it the Dessa show? Tell me about it.
Tell me about Dessa. It was really tremendous.
And having been on tour with Dessa a number of times, I've heard that song now like a ton of times. But every time, I feel like I always want to do the harmony that Abby does. So I'm like backstage, like, all of your ghosts. That was me. I have one finger in the air, and I'm like, it's awesome. And Abby is playing like the beat.
Drum pads?
Yep. And she's like playing with like sticks and stuff. Guys, I'm not a musician.
She's got Lincoln Logs out. She's building a cabin.
She's got like sticks and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like really cool. It's just fantastic to see. And they play off each other so well. Obviously, they have sang together for years and years, so they know each other's shorthand. Again, like we were talking about with musicians, it's fantastic to see them. You see, it's just like a side glance, and all of a sudden they change something, and like where the modification of the notes are and things like that. Makes me so excited. So if you get a chance to, and because I know they tour together a lot, Abby and Dessa and currently Moniker, it's just dope. So please go see it if you get a chance.
Yeah.
You guys, we've done it. And now we should go into the FanZone Calzone.
FanZone.
Stay right there. Good Morning Night Vale will return after a brief break.
So if you have live FanZone theories or questions, feel free to line up at that microphone. We do have some that were sent in. People email us, they call us. It happens. And here are some of those, Symphony.
First, we have Beth. Beth writes, hey, gang.
Hey.
Hey. Hope you're all having a great day.
I am.
We are. Longtime fan here. I've been listening since 2012. OG. Mm-hmm. And I've re-listened to the episodes a bunch of times, but I've lost count about how many times I've listened to Old Oak Doors.
43.
First of all, that is very hard for me to say. I have to say it real slow. Old Oak Doors. Because otherwise, oak doors. They're such a standout episode for me, but something that I really loved was a quote from Carlos. I did a physics degree.
Okay. That's how physicists say it.
I've done a physics degree at uni. Ooh. And being a girl and being a creative, I'm a writer too, I've gotten a lot of comments from people being surprised about my love of science. So when Carlos says, I'm no hero, I'm a scientist, I fell in love. Oh, we all did. That quote stuck with me through my degree and still has over 2 years after graduating. It was such a small piece, but so brilliant and beautiful. I wanted to ask what line from Night Vale has stuck with you guys the most. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say. I just really love that line, and you guys too. Good Morning Night Vale brings me so much joy and laughter and a great sense of nostalgia. Keep being awesome, and Merry Christmas. Thank you, Beth. And a happy Christmas to you too, Beth. I think one of my favorite, there's so many iconic Tamika lines, and they can be very inspirational and stuff like that. But there's one from a live show that I love that was like, bam, bunch of books. And I just, that was one of the most fun for me to say, because I'd be like, try and switch it up. And I'm like, bam, bunch of books. Because you're just dropping books on people. And visually for me, in my head, I was like, yes. So that is the one for me, guys.
I'm trying to think about.
You're like, I know no lines.
I know, I don't remember. It's so hard. I was also trying to avoid ones that I wrote, but I do get confused. I will think of it, actually listening to Old Oak Doors, there is one at the beginning. I'm not going to try and find it. I was trying to find it earlier, but it's right at the beginning when Lauren and Kevin are out there, and I don't know, they're just kind of having banter, and at one point in time, Kevin says, my grandmother, they bring up a phrase like the most important part of humanity. The most important part of humanity is productivity, right, or something like that. And that's what my grandmother used to say all the time. In fact, she embroidered it on a throw pillow,
and then sold it to him.
Yeah, and then he was like, and then Lauren kind of admires it, and then says, "Oh, that's very sweet." And Kevin says, "Yeah, I loved it so much she sold me one." Classic.
I love, this is an iconic line, but my favorite of mine is probably from Ghost Stories, where Steve tells the story of a school bus full of children who all died. But then you find out later that it was all natural causes. The line is something like it was 50 years ago. 50 years ago, I'm pretty sure most of them are dead by now. It's something like that. Yeah. It's a great punchline that is really bad when you don't remember it and then try to relay it without the setup. So that's what I'm going to go with. I'm locking it in.
Have you guys told the story about? Because one of my favorite lines that's in every live show. Has Meg told this story on this?
Love of every kind.
Have you guys talked about love of every kind?
I don't know if we have. No. I don't think so.
When we toured the librarian, there's after the weather, Cecil's having to come down and just here's the moral of the story, here's all the things that happened, here's how we resolved it. And it's just this kind of beautiful passage about love, and he says, love of this, love of that, love of every kind. And I was backstage during one of our first tours of that show, and I was standing next to Meg, and Meg just looked at me and she goes, love of every kind. And we both just kind of were like, and I just found it really funny. And so we just kept doing that back and forth backstage of every kind. And the value of love of every kind. And then so now in every single live show, we have the phrase love of every kind every single time. So that was it. So
that's a little Easter egg for you.
That's an Easter egg. If you come to a live show, find love of every kind.
Also, another Easter egg for live shows, at least the ones that I go to, is the curtain calls are themed. Which I don't know. I think I started it. Did I start that?
You sure did, bud.
It was all right, everybody's an athlete. And then you come out and then you do something. All right, everybody do a dance move. Everybody do whatever. Super high energy. You're coming out as the host of SNL. So when you see a live show, particularly when I'm there, we have figured out a theme which we tell Cecil as soon as he comes off stage at the end of the show, and which he may or may not do. You do not know.
You never know with that one.
Yeah.
Here's another question. Logan writes, Meg, Symphony, and Hal. Mm-hmm. Hey guys, my name's Logan, and I'm sending in my headcanon for Lauren Mallard. So I imagine Lauren to be in her mid-30s with the I want to speak to your manager face, not the haircut, but the face. With
okay.
To be noted, with straight chocolate brown hair that goes to her mid-waist. That is actually the opposite of the I want to speak to your manager haircut, right?
Yeah.
I also imagine that she wears an orange button-up shirt with blood stains. I think the manager would come running to you if you had blood stains. And a knee-length black pencil skirt. This is a good Cake song, I remember. Thank you so much if you guys see this. I love the show so much. Thank you for everything you all have done. Good vibes, Logan. And then there's a picture of an alien.
Good vibes.
That's the best part.
I've gotten good. There was no question in that, so I apologize for setting that up as a question. It was just a statement.
And as always, because it's your headcanon, it is correct for you.
It is. It is absolutely correct.
100%
Thank you,
correct.
Logan. That was beautiful.
Well done. Elise writes, good morning, Night Vale. Good morning. It is morning here. Good
morning.
Good job. You guessed right. Normally, it's nighttime, and I'm in my underwear.
Same.
My theory on why Cecil hated Steve Carlsberg in the early episodes is because Steve's knowledge of the truth of things could potentially get Janice or Cecil's sister sent in for re-education if they listened to and believed him. We know that Steve Carlsberg is right about most things. That's correct. And in Night Vale, that is extremely dangerous. So in my opinion, Cecil was always trying to protect his family by making Steve seem harmless and unlikable.
Okay. Did you write this?
Oh, also, no, not at all. Also, Hal once interacted with me on Tumblr, and it made my whole week. Smiley face, but the one with the D, so they're like, hey! Sincerely, Elise.
A.K.A. Hal Lublin.
Yeah. I think his knowledge certainly puts a lot of people at risk. There may be some truth to that. Mm-hmm. I think there are other... I think time has shown that maybe there are some other contributing factors, but certainly that would make sense. Again, Steve is the hero of Night Vale.
Yeah. I always feel with conspiracies or like elaborate theories on like why, like the deeper reasons why somebody's doing something. Like we're always like, the phrase a few years ago that was popular of like he's playing 20-dimensional chess or whatever. Mm-hmm. Although I did hear somebody refer to it as 3-dimensional chess, and I'm like, that's just chess. But like I think with conspiracies, I always in my mind it's always like, man, that guy is totally playing 3-dimensional chess right now. It is. I always think Occam's razor, right? Like I think we sort of assume people are thinking much more in advance of like how to do things. And I always think about one of the lessons my stepfather taught. He was a corporate guy, and one of the things he taught is he said, people are inherently lazy. It really stuck with me because he was like, I think the deeper meaning I get out of that was not that people are bad. It's just that we're all trying to do our jobs, and there are just certain things we're going to let go in favor of other things. And so some things we're going to be lazy about. And I think, lazy is a loose term, but I think that in some ways, like we're just going about our lives and we're not really thinking about, okay, here's the careful way I have to talk about my niece Janice and Steve and all this stuff because I don't want her to get re-educated or whatever. Like, I think in a lot of ways, he probably just hates Steve. And he's never really dealt with why he's so annoyed with somebody, as opposed to like a deeper reason why he's trying to stage a whole elaborate thing. I was like, mostly people dislike somebody because they just haven't really confronted all of the things within themselves they don't like.
Yeah, and there's also like the real life. He's the interloper into the family. He's not actually Janice's biological dad,
right?
So he comes in, and there are going to be a lot of questions that he'll have, that he has to go through that journey himself, and they have to figure each other out. And it's still going even in the live shows. Mm-hmm. Like there's a little bit more of it, but I like that tension. I think it should always be there.
This was the episode too where Steve is married to Abby, who is Cecil's sister.
Yes.
So, and but this is the episode where we refer to Steve as Cecil's stepbrother.
Right.
Which is, I think, not legal.
No.
Correct.
We tried very hard. We realized the mistake, and we tried really hard. Is it possible for him to be Cecil's stepbrother without it being gross?
And then you had to correct it.
And it was impossible, and later we just addressed it. But yeah. Anyways, that's it.
This has been great. Thank you to PodX.
Thanks, PodX.
To the crew, to everybody who put it together, the organizers. Thanks to all of you for coming and enjoying Night Vale and enjoying listening to us talk about it and us all communing about it together. That is it for now. If you want to support the show and you are not doing so already, you can go to patreon.com/Good Morning Night Vale. That is it for now. And until next time, good morning, Night Vale.
Good Morning Night Vale is a Night Vale Presents production. It is hosted by Symphony Sanders, Hal Lublin, and special guest host Jeffrey Cranor. It is edited by Grant Stewart and mixed by Vincent Cacchione. It is produced by Meg Bashwiner. Theme music by Disparition. This episode was recorded live at PodX in Nashville, Tennessee. Leave us a voicemail at 929-277-2050 or email us at info@goodmorningnightVale.com to share your theories and ask questions, or to tell us that you're not mad at us for releasing episode 49 before episodes 47 or 48. This show is powered by our patrons like Alexander Ann, Larry Williams, Marianne Limoncelli, Susie, and Haley. If you are interested in supporting this show in exchange for lots of fun, exclusive, hyper cool kid content, like a video of the three hosts' in-house kitchen making scones, and other extremely wholesome content, check us out at patreon.com/goodmorningnightVale. For more information on this show, go to goodmorningnightVale.com and follow us on Facebook and on Twitter at Night Vale Chat. Special thanks to Christy Gressman, Jeffrey Cranor, Joseph Fink, Adam Cecil, and the entire team at PodX. Today's adverb is healthy. Sometimes you have to prioritize self-care and time with family over recording schedules, and that is a healthy way to live your life, even if it means releasing your recap podcast out of order.